Can't. How about your volume, man? I can't read lips.
Man, sorry about that, Coach. Yeah, you beat us. I thought a 5-minute warning, and you came in 30 seconds. So
Hey, they say the early bird gets the worm. I'm from the South. I'm from the country. All right.
Before we get started, just so everybody knows, Vederian, I don't know if you saw the note, Vederian will be on after Doug Kramer today, this afternoon, starting at 3 o'clock. Go ahead and queue up in the chat line for questions for Coach. And then, so Coach, today was the last day of media stuff. I mean, you still have practices this week, but this is the last time you'll talk to these guys before the game. Any opening statements today, and then we'll move on to questions.
I'll take the questions. Answer anything that someone's willing to ask.
All right, Jeremy, you're up. Go ahead.
Good morning, Lovie. Rod said the other day that he's seen Brandon come out of his shell a little bit this year and during your time. Just how have you seen him kind of evolve in your time with him the last year and a half?
I think all of us, after we get more comfortable in an environment, we open up more. I think it's as simple as that with Brandon. He got here late last year, and it takes a while to, really become one of the guys. They want to see you in every situation. They've seen Brandon in every situation. So I've had more and more confident each year I've been here in this position. I think it's that way with everyone. I know that he's one of the guys now, and we're excited that he's back on the football field. Of course, we're a lot better team with Brandon leading us.
Are you guys wired similarly? You and him, just
Is that a compliment, or are we like different? Seem like we from another planet? I mean, what are you insinuating here?
No, I just mean you guys are more laid back, but really competitive.
Laid back is a bad term. That means you're kind of lazy. You don't. I wouldn't consider myself laid back. I'm messing with you a little bit, Jeremy. He is calm under tough circumstances. Absolutely. He's a confident player. He's not high, low. He's prepared. It's kind of hard when you say that I'm like him, so I'm kind of talking about myself a little bit, and I don't feel comfortable doing that. We show up every day, and I take it a compliment that you think I'm like Brandon. How's that?
Well, good. I just have one more. I know he's had some ups and downs in his career and still has more time to accomplish a lot. But what's he meant to your program for the last 2 years, Lovie?
He's meant everything to us. You want that from your quarterback position, from a leader of your team. He's voted captain this year. Again, he checks off all the boxes. I know it's an easy phrase for me to say, but it's kind of where I'm excited about, him leading us this week.
Thank you, Lovie.
Welcome.
Okay, Bob, you're up, and then Alec on deck. Go ahead, Bob.
Coach, after what happened last week with you guys not being able to play after you prepared all week like you would, this week are you a little more nervous about that, or maybe going to be making more calls trying to find out, hey, are we good? Are we good? Kind of maybe more looking in there before it happens again.
No, Bob, and I try to get the guys to focus on the things that are in our hand that we control.
Sure.
And it's as simple as that. We control what we did in practice today, meetings, and everything that's happening here. We'll continue to just do that. We have other people that are looking at other things, but that's not our role right here. And we're going to prepare right up until game time. If something happens, we'll deal with that then. That's going to be our approach each week. That's been our approach since we got back in gym.
I want to ask you about Vederian Lowe. Just kind of talk about his progress since he came in here as a really big guy and all the progress he's made on the field.
Well, on the football field, if you look at if you look at him, he's a prototype offensive tackle. Mm-hmm. Great height, size, long arms, tough guy. And he's been an Ironman, hasn't missed anything. He's a good football player. So football-wise, we know what to expect from him each week. Off the football field, he's as much of a man as you want to be around. I'm talking, he has responsibility, with the family. And so he takes everything seriously. He's on our leadership board. The things that, that he comes up with is, beyond his years type advice. And as you look at somebody that just sets a perfect example for the young guys, no one better than him.
And I know you mentioned the off the field stuff. He took on an added responsibility beyond his own family, beyond his own child. He's got I believe it's a nephew or a cousin or something. Now he's a guardian. Talk about that, how impressive it is for a young guy like Vederian to take on that kind of responsibility.
Well, it doesn't surprise me that he would take on that type of responsibility, but that is more pressure, to do well, set a good example, all of those things. And it's one thing to take on another member of your family. He has one child and another on the way, so there's a lot of things happening in his life. And again, it's great dad, great teammate, great player.
Can he play at the next level, Coach? You would know probably better than anybody.
I think he just look at him. I think absolutely he should have a shot at playing at the next level. He's a prototype offensive tackle.
Thanks, Coach.
You're welcome.
Okay, Alec, you're up, and then Colin on deck. Go ahead, Alec.
Good morning, Coach. On Monday, you talked about how important the senior class is. Can you maybe explain the importance of these transfers that are going to be celebrated on Saturday, like Josh or Milo or other guys that are in that group?
Well, we believe in giving guys a second chance. It doesn't always work out. Divorce is sometimes a good thing. Certain type of guys we want coming into our program. We've been fortunate to be able to get some older players that fit right in with our culture and what we want. So as we talk about the seniors, we're talking about everywhere. They've gotten to this senior year a lot of different ways from a lot of different places, but they bought into what we're doing. And each one of those guys that you talk about have they contribute to our program. And I know they've gotten an awful lot for the University of Illinois too.
You just spoke really highly of Vederian Lowe. Someone that always seems to really impress me when I speak with them is Josh. He seems to be very charismatic, just a very bright young man. What has he maybe meant to your program or brought to your team or your locker room that maybe other players maybe don't bring, or something different about him, I guess?
Well, first off, all our guys are charismatic, bright. You go to University of Illinois, you are going to be that. So Josh is definitely that. Like as I said, like everybody I know on our football team. But Josh is, on the football field. It kind of speaks for itself. But there's a lot more than that with him. He's involved with what's happening in our world too socially, which is neat also. But he's a typical University of Illinois football player as I see it.
Thanks, Coach.
Well.
Okay, Colin, you're up. Joey on deck. Go ahead, Colin.
Lovie, talking a little bit more about Josh. I know Bob just asked you about Vederian's potential at the next level. What do you see of Josh that could possibly make him an asset to a team beyond the college ranks?
He's got all the physical ability in the world. He can jump higher than everybody, as fast as anyone. He's got good size, can catch the football. He's been productive. His time he's been here on our campus. But, it's hard for me to talk NFL right now. My advice to all the guys who think everybody on our team wants to play in NFL, and everybody on the team will have an opportunity. If you do well in college, you normally get that opportunity. So Josh, Darren, we have a lot of seniors that are good football players. Hopefully as many, we have a lot of guys that get an opportunity to do that. But talking about the NFL this time of the year, we just want those guys to play well against Iowa this week.
And I'm sure you talked about this before, but since we're on the transfer front, how have Josh and Brandon been able to strike up such a strong chemistry, considering they both didn't start here? They obviously came from different places, yet it seems like they've always been in the same place at the same time based on how they connect.
Well, yeah, I think that kind of happens. Most teams, you have a quarterback. Most quarterbacks likes their number one receiver, as a general rule. It's kind of simple as that. And most receivers going to love a quarterback that can get them the ball. So is a match made in heaven? Absolutely. And So you can see why they would have some chemistry. And right now, that was developing chemistry in the past. Now they're on record of having success. So it's pretty easy for them now.
Thanks, Lovie.
You're welcome.
Okay, and then Joey Wagner, you're up.
Lovie, you talked about Vederian being kind of an Iron Man, but really your whole offensive line, short of Palcho and the couple games for Doug. As a coach, what is the comfort or the importance of knowing those are your 5 guys for really what's been now the 3rd year of that?
Well, it gives you confidence. And Alex, up until this injury, Alex has been the same. So every team I've ever been on, the offensive line is different. They're the closest position group on every football team I've been associated with. They have each other's back, and there's a standard. And one of the standards is to play with pain. They know the difference between pain and injury, and that pressure to not let your fellow offensive lineman down is as strong as any position group. And you just look at what's happened here. They show up each week. It all starts with them. And that's a good thing for Illinois football.
And in college, I guess we maybe don't see these guys, who rack up the consecutive starts or even the career starts like some of your guys have. Is that unique? I mean, obviously they were, kind of thrown into it early, but is that a unique thing to have like you guys have here?
Well, I just know, again, on most of the teams I've been on, that's kind of common a little bit. Offensive linemen normally, for whatever reason, whether it's luck or whatever it is, seems like they do show up quite a bit. And for us around here, that's kind of how it's been. We don't know anything different. I mean, since I've gotten here, these guys start playing early and they show up every day for practice. They show up for games, and it's expected.
And my last thing is, I'm assuming that would, obviously the Big Ten's physical across the board. Iowa's definitely one of those smash mouth teams. That has to help those guys having that experience and knowing what to expect out of an Iowa defensive front. I mean, do you see that too?
Yes, I do. We have history with them. So the football teams that pride themselves on, taking a physical approach to playing games. And we're the same. That's why it's so, that's Big Ten football as a whole, really. I just know that would be the case this week, as it has been each game we played. They beat us last year, but that was one of the more physical games that we played, and we're expecting the same thing this week.
Thanks a lot, Lovie.
Thank you.
All right, Coach, that ends the questions today. Appreciate your time, and we'll talk to you again soon. Thanks, everybody, for joining us today.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
So
Thank you, Coach.